It's Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I am live to discuss Alexander Usyk versus Danny Dubois low blow. Psych. Just kidding. We are going to talk about the offer, the verbal offer, or the response from Andy Ruiz. Okay, he said that he would fight Deontay Wilder for $10 million. And that's what we want to talk about today online. Andy versus Wilder be better fight than AJ versus Wilder. I don't know. Here's the thing. For me, Wilder just needs to be more active. You know, a lot of people talk about Andy Ruiz's inactivity, and we'll talk about that here. But Deontay Wilder also has to be active. You know, I think inactivity is first cousin to father time. Okay, that's my own saying. I didn't, I just made that up, really. You know what I mean? That's one of the counterpunch terms that I use, but it makes sense. See, if you don't practice, if you're out of the ring, you can train like the Dickens. You can be the best at exercising, but that doesn't make you prepared for battle. You can spar all day and all this, that, and the other. I remember legends in the game, guys like Obakar from Detroit, and he fought all of them. The guy stayed in shape year-round, but he was very, very notorious for being overtrained, meaning he was a gym rat, but then, he would get into the ring and then can't take a punch because he's not conditioned enough to take punches because he hasn't had enough fights. Yeah, he has stamina, sure, but if he gets caught with a punch that he's not ready for, he's going down to the canvas. Okay, and he fought the best of them, and I don't want that for Wilder, because the last thing I want to see from anybody, and it's not even really Wilder, he has a lot to do with it, but the people surrounding Wilder can't help to see, and they hate to see him lose, and if he loses, he's a grown man. He should be responsible, but it's annoying to hear that. Most importantly, for Wilder and for his sake, I think Wilder needs to fight more. I don't care if he fights Andy Ruiz or Charles Martin, because Charles Martin recently called him out. I got a video coming on that. But still, someone, just somebody, because at the end of the day, it's like, he gets beat by AJ. If that happens and AJ beats him, the first thing someone's going to say, inactivity. Brennan Smith, Andy Ruiz is not worth $20 million. No, he's not worth $20 million. In fact, here's my thing. Okay, let me shut that down real quick. You guys hit that like button. I know I'm early. The early bird gets the worm. I got things to do. You got things to do. Shout out to Brian Freeman. He always says that. But seriously, Deontay Wilder fighting Andy Ruiz, and Andy Ruiz wants and demands $20 million. You cannot be serious. On what planet does Andy Ruiz get that amount of money for? Better yet, when have Andy Ruiz ever got that type of money? Exactly. Never. Andy's dreaming. He is not a big dog or a big draw. Now, the thing is, it's not really the fact of Andy thinking he's a big draw. It's the fact that he thinks Wilder's a bigger draw so he can ask for bigger money. So you got to look at that like it is. It's depending on who you think you're up against. So Wilder's that former WBC champion for 5 years, the best of the best, hardest puncher in boxing history, and all this, that, and the other, and fought Tyson Fury from 3 fights, right, and classics and all that stuff. Andy thinks I'm going to slide in because I fought Anthony Joshua 2 fights, and I'm the former champion, and he's the former champion, and we can come together being former champions, and we can make a lot of money together. Juntos es muchos. No, Andy. Deontay ain't getting $20 million. So what makes you think you're going to get $20 million? And if he does get $20 million, you're not going to get $20 million. It's crazy. He had 2 big fights with the same person, and they were big fights only because of who he was fighting. Well, yeah, I mean, and the only reason that it was a second one because he won the first one. He was a replacement from the guy that Anthony Joshua, that's the guy that he fought, who's going to fight, and that's Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller fucked everything up for so many reasons. Jarrell Miller gave birth to Andy Ruiz. Look, Jarrell Miller just kind of squatted on this leg and squatted on this leg, and out came Andy Ruiz. That's how that worked. That's how that happened. Hold on a second. This shit is blurry. Okay, there we go. So, yes, I thought he's down to 10 million. Yes, revelation to like, but who the fuck's gonna give him? They ain't gonna give him 10 million because realistically, Wilder will probably make that amount. So why would he give him around that amount? And you know how much money that you have to make, to how many pay-per-view buys you have to make to get 10 to even cover giving Andy $10 million? It's crazy, man. It's ludicrous. Andy did not defend his championship. Is he really a champion? Well, neither did Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury only defended the WBC, and he defended it against who? Dillian White and Derek Chisora. Dillian White was a mandatory forever, and Derek Chisora was an easy pick'ems. Okay, and the other unified belts, that's the belts we're talking about at hand. No, he's never defended any of those belts. He started getting high and drunk and slamming broads and running his Lamborghini or whatever kind of sports car he had all around the UK. Okay, trying to kill himself or whatever the hell he was doing, but he wasn't defending those belts. That's what he wasn't doing. Okay, Jarrell Miller plus PEDs equals Andy Ruiz. Bars! Igor coming in with those bars, baby. Jarrell Miller plus PEDs equals Andy Ruiz. Yeah! Ruiz got $1 million in his last fight with Ortiz. Exactly. So how does $1 million, and that's what Andy Ruiz is claiming. He said, they're trying to give me the money that I made on my last fight. You're supposed to increase. Well, obviously, though, let's keep it a buck. Obviously, because what is not said about this situation? What are we hearing about Andy? All we're hearing about Andy Ruiz is Andy Ruiz just priced himself out, right? Andy Ruiz asked for this money. Well, what's the elephant in the room here? Can anybody tell me what's missing from this equation? Can anybody tell me that? 43 of you guys are on the chat right now and climbing. But can anybody tell me what is missing from this equation? What Deontay Wilder is saying Andy asked, and he priced himself out. What else is missing? Connell O'Brien. Hey, Kurt, hope you're well and happy. Good vibes from the north of Scotland. And to everyone on the chat. Counterpunch to you. Conal O'Brien. Counterpunch. Ruiz. Okay, can anybody tell me that? Because this is what we're hearing. Man, he just priced himself out, man. He asked for $25 million. He ain't getting that. What are we? Michael Riddle. Okay, counter offer. Okay, you're getting somewhere, but no. What is missing? The exact demand number. Okay, the exact demand number is what? Try again. Come on, give me something else. Let's use our brains. What is missing is the exact demand offer. No, that's not. I'm not even talking about that. That's missing too, because that's something, but that's not what I'm talking about. We'll get to that later. What is it? At this point, probably no heavyweight deserves $20 million. Everybody's keeping the zero. Listen, what is missing from this equation? What isn't Wilder and Malik Scott? What aren't they telling us? Counter offer? No. Close. You're burning up, but what is it? What is missing is the exact demand number. If you mean the exact demand number, that means no. No, that's not. They ain't telling us how much they offered. Exactly, Scrawl. Counterpunch to you. That's what we're not receiving. See, you're hearing from Team Wilder all this shit about 25, 20 million. Then you heard Andy, I'll fight for 10 million. Right? You're hearing these numbers getting thrown out that are bullshit, right? They're ludicrous. They mean nothing because they're not correct. They're not accurate. But what we're not hearing is What did they offer Andy? Big money comes after proving your worth. Andy ain't at that level yet. Cool. Wei Neong 11. Wei Neong 11. What I'm saying is, what did they offer him? They're saying he's not this. They say he was a champion for 6 months or 6 minutes or whatever they said. I understand that. So what did they offer him at all? What did they offer him? Who's the replacement for Ruiz? Nobody's the replacement, Ryan. That's the whole point. Nobody's replacing him at this point. We haven't heard anybody. Hopefully he'll get in the ring. I hope he does. He needs a fight. You know, you're not going to believe that Helenius is bullshit. Helenius gets knocked out by everybody, regardless if he's clean or unclean. Right? If he's clean, he gets knocked out. If he's unclean, he gets knocked out. Still gets knocked out. So that's not really what we need. And he hasn't had enough ring time to really say that I'm back. You can say I can punch. That's one thing. Sure, we all know you can punch. Everybody knows Deontay Wilder can throw the right hand and can knock damn near anybody out with the right hand. You know what I mean? Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz, Joe Joyce. Maybe all these guys are fucking horse. Maybe all this he can knock out. But at the end of the day, at the very end of the day, okay, has he proven himself worthy to be a formidable champion or a formidable opponent? Has he showed us, hey, I can take a lick from that left side of my face? You know what I mean? Am I really damaged there? Nobody hit him there. You know? Can Effie replace Ruiz? I would think he could, but then the question would be, what would they offer Effie Ajagba to come off of ESPN? See, Effie Ajagba is an ESPN fighter. At the end of the day, it's the end of the day. Yeah. So it's time for him, dude. It will be September, like the day after tomorrow. So we're in the last quarter of the year already. The summer's gone. Well, for some people. But the summer's gone. Andy a ducker, one-hit wonder, just a coward and a disgrace. Yeah, and he's talking about an opportunity. And see, that's just stupid. I don't like all this shit thrown around. See, if Andy was actually, like, for one, I think both of these guys, honestly, are full of shit. Ruiz's price today is $5 million. Marco Polo. Well, what was he offered? See, according to Malik Scott, he's supposed to have been offered $4 or $5 million. Is that right? 3 or 4 or 4 or 5 million. You remember you heard a lot of money. They offered him a lot of money, but then there's no exact number that they offered him. And then his dad started talking about a split. And then all of a sudden, Wilder, maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, they say he asked for 20 to 25 million. Don't mention the low blow or it will go off. I don't care about that. I've done enough of those today. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about Andy Ruiz and Deontay Wilder. These two guys, these former champions, one a former unified champion that had the belt for 5 to 6 months, and the other one had one belt for 5 to 6 years. Okay? So, none of these guys are champions. So realistically, who's putting on this shit? Who's offering these guys money anyway? Is it Al Heyman? Because they're both supposed to be Al Heyman fighters. They're on the same team. Right? We're on the same team. It would be easy for us to make this fight. We'll call Al Heyman. Obviously not. First, let Ruiz get in shape, show 1 to 2 beautiful fights, and possibly be worth $10 million in a fight with Joshua Usyk or Fury. He's not going to get that unless he fights somebody worth a shit. See, what you guys don't understand about Ruiz. Ruiz had his chance to stay where he was at because he got where he was at based on somebody else's downfall. And because somebody else fucked up, Jarrell, Big Baby Miller, because he messed up, again, he gave birth to Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz, it was in a situation that he knew he never knew he would be. And he got there. The obvious typical things happen. He won. He turned into an asshole. He started partying with the Pauls. He got fat. He wasn't prepared. And he got in the rematch and he lost. That's what happened to Andy Ruiz. And the motherfucker didn't fight for another year and another 5 months. So for 17 months, this dude didn't even fight. He didn't get back into the ring until 2021 when he took on Chris Arreola and got his ass dropped in the second or the third round. Okay, so that's Andy Ruiz's history. And he ain't did shit since besides fight Luis Ortiz, a guy that he ducked 2 years prior. That was some sad shit. Because early 2020, he ducked Ruiz. He didn't fight Ruiz until yet last year. Late last year, he fought Ruiz. And by then, Ortiz needed Bengay and, you know what I mean? You seen him putting his legs in those circulation things. I was like, yeah, that's a bad sign. You know what I mean? Because he knew he needed that. His legs are old. Ortiz is old. The dude used to spar with Lennox Lewis. He had no business being in there with Andy Ruiz. Now Andy wants to fight him. You know why Andy wanted to fight him? Because Andy saw what Charles Martin did. Charles Martin dropped the motherfucker with a jab. So you think you ain't going to fight a person that got dropped by a jab? Come on, man. Be real with this shit. Andy saw that. I'm going to fight Ortiz. Estoy listo para lo que sea. Por este cubano estoy mejor. No, you're not mejor. You're not better. You just waited him out. In 2020, I'm not ready. Oh, but now you're ready because you know, that age finally started cracking. Black don't crack until it does. That's the type of shit he did. He's cracking. Let's get him, papi. Yeah, let's get him. Let's start this fight. Let's send over the paperwork. He doesn't read it. Send it to Jim Jimenez. He'll read it and sign it. He'll give it to Al Heyman. Right? Come on now. Andy's success led to his downfall. Exactly. Some people, it's not the fact that they fail. They're scarier when they succeed. I remember a girlfriend, shout out to Demetra Smith, an ex. She told me one time, she said, you know what? I'm not really concerned with you failing. I'm concerned with you succeeding. You know what I mean? And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? And I had to think about that. I had to really think about that because I was like, oh, okay, well, wait, what do you mean? You expect me to fail? No, because once you get success, it's a responsibility. Okay, it's a responsibility to show and become responsible for the things that you've accomplished. And if you accomplish too much, some people can't handle it. Some people can't handle money. You give somebody money, they'll fuck up. They'll be dead or broke or both in a month's time. Some people can't handle it. And Andy, I think, is one of those people. He couldn't handle that. See, what we're learning about Andy Ruiz, let's go down the history lesson with Andy for a minute. Andy had the drama with the chick that set him up, that framed him. He had the weed and shit. He was half smiling and had the IV. You guys remember this, right? And the chick put him on blast on social media. Okay, so here is what we're witnessing. What we're witnessing is this stuff didn't happen all at one time. Him said he tried to pull an AK on her. That's a lie. I never did that. He probably did. He probably was joking with her, and then she, he beat her and all this stuff. This shit happened when he got success. You see what I mean? He was with that girl when he beat and knocked out AJ. When they stopped that fight in AJ and he won and he beat AJ up, he got all that money and he got all that success. Then he got some more money. So he got fat. So in between June and then December, this dude totally 360. He went from, I want to be a Mexican Anthony Joshua now, to then a couple months later, I don't have to fight him. I'm the champ. I'm not fighting him in the UK. I'm not going over there. I don't trust them, right? He's a robot. He's stiff. I'm like, yeah, this dude really changed. Andy, totally 360. He turned into a Devo overnight. Okay. Is it me or is this shit just blurry? Wait a minute. Damn, I hope it's not my eyes. So, but understand this. Andy Ruiz got that money, got that fame, got that juice, right? Started eating sushi off of naked chicks with the paws in them, right? So, all right, 180, exactly, D. Wills, or Willis, right? Wills. Okay, so that's exactly what happened to Andy. Andy couldn't handle that shit. He came in and look, Andy probably was about 315 pounds. He probably started working out the ass in to lose that weight. That 283 you seen when he got on the scale, and shit, and they're like, damn, this dude's 283 pounds. You know what I mean? 5'10, 283 pounds. This motherfucker looked like John Belushi. Animal House. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it is what it is. Can't argue with that, Kurt. Spot on. Look, Andy was his own demise. This motherfucker was like, he was just that guy that got that chance and look, and didn't know how to handle it. Most fighters, though, this is what I thought Andy was going to do. I thought Andy was at least going to ride that all the way out. Meaning, he was going to fight Dillian White, probably lose to Dillian White, but get $4 million. Then he was going to fight someone else like Luis Ortiz and get another couple million. You know, he might have beat Ortiz. He might not have. I don't think he would have beat Ortiz in 2020. I just don't. I think Ortiz was just, young enough or still in shape enough to beat Andy Ruiz. But then we'll never know because Andy didn't challenge himself. So Andy got all that money thinking, well, and this is what I bet you Andy was thinking in his mind. Well, don't worry, papi, no preocupe. We're going to get a trilogy fight with Anthony Joshua. So when he fights, he's going to get all the belts, and we're going to fight him again. And meanwhile, what did he do? He did nothing because he thought that Anthony was going to give him that opportunity again. And AJ already told him, no, I'm not going to fight him again. Right? No. So that didn't happen, but he didn't prove himself. And then, little did he know, this is chess, not checkers. He pissed off the guy that he just negotiated with. See, he pissed him off first. And when I mean the guy, I'm talking about Eddie Hearn. He pissed off Eddie Hearn because he went and said, no, I want more money. Al Heyman, being who he was, got Andy more money. So instead of that $7 million or $8 million or whatever he's supposed to get, he ended up getting $9 million. Okay? So he ended up getting $9 million. Or was it 13? Fuck, I don't know. It was a lot of money, bro. I think it was 13 now that I think about it. So he got more money. So when he got more money, it didn't really matter. So in Andy's mind, I'm rich, estoy rico ahora, I'm ready. I can buy the Snickers, the Twinkies, the Ho-Hos, the carne asada, the corn. He could do all that. How much did Wilder officially offer Ruiz? Exactly. Hashirama, exactly. How much did they offer him? Who knows? Because no one's being straight up forward about any of this shit, and it's making me sick. Because when you look at stuff like that, and you hear guys, oh, he wanted too much money. And this is what I don't like about Ellie Setback reporting. He's not a report. He's a reporter. He's not a journalist. I'm a journalist. I'm a boxing analyst and a lover of boxing, a former ass-kicking amateur boxer. That's me. Stunt man, you guys know. That's me. I'm going to ask questions like, oh, how much did you offer him? You know what I mean? You're telling us what he asked. What the fuck did you offer him? Because at that point, we can deem it whatever. Then you can make your own conclusions built based on what he had before. We already know he made $1 million. Okay? And we just can't blame Wilder, but Andy's doing the same bullshit. He's not saying they offered me the same amount of money. Okay, all right. Did they offer you $1 million? Is that what you're saying? That's what I would do. So you're saying they offered you $1 million, Andy? Are you saying that? Or are you just saying about what it is? Fuck about what it is. Tell me what they offered you. Because they're saying you offered or you asked for or demanded $20 fucking million. And what's so crazy about that is he didn't get that from Anthony Joshua in 2 fights. He didn't get $25 million in 2 fights fighting Anthony Joshua. So how is he going to get $25 million fighting Deontay Wilder? Come on, man. Ellie sucks everybody off at the PBC. Now I remember Terrence got on Ellie, and Tyson kicked Ellie out. Get him out of here. You can go. You fucking Tulsa. If Daniel and Usyk rematch and Usyk beats him without controversy, the crotch gate scandal will be forgotten. Scrawl. Well, here's the thing. I don't think there should be a rematch. The reason why, I don't even want to talk about that shit. I don't really want to talk about it. I'm going to say this and let's get off of that. We're not going to talk about fucking Daniel and Oleg all fucking day. We're not going to talk about that. What I will say, Daniel quit because he quit. He doesn't deserve a rematch. I'm done with it. Okay? Is that good enough for everybody? I've done enough fucking videos on the fucking crotch gate and below the belt gate and the dick gate and ball busting gate. I'm tired of that. That's done. That's done. Okay. That's done. That's done. Don't mention the war. Exactly. Online. I know, right? You started it online. It's your fault. Okay. No controversy. No, it's not. So if it's no controversy, that means there's no problem. That means there's nothing to talk about. Kurt, the heavyweights just need to fight more. All the 10 should have a time frame to fight. If not, you're dropped from the top 10. I agree. B. Michael. The IBF to strip Alexander Usyk over Daniel appeal and award. Shut up. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. I don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about Andy Ruiz. Let's talk about Andy Ruiz. Let's talk about Deontay Wilder. Andy loves money. Ricky Torre. He does love money, but it's stupid. Because if you try to hardball everyone and you're trying to play these tight-ass, shrewd business games, but you're always coming up short, you're not making any fucking money now, are you? That's like a guy that has a master's degree or no. Screw the master's degree. That's like a guy that has an associate degree that thinks, hey, I've got an associate degree. I'm not taking that $25 an hour. I'm not taking that from IBM. For starters, I'm not doing that. Then, oh God, I just went to Dell and they offered me 27. I'm not taking that. Oh, I just left the interview from Apple. The nerve of them offering me $29 an hour. I'm not taking that. Okay, so you're not taking none of this shit. So how are you getting paid? That means you're not working. That means you're not getting paid. That means there's no check. That means there's no cash. If there's no cash, that means there's nothing in the fridge. No gas in the car, in the vehicle. Andy Ruiz is not the cleverest of them all. No, he's not. You know what I mean? So, in other words, you're making these deals. You got, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. So first, this year, let's talk about this year just alone. You had Tyson. Well, first you had Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder tried to skip around like his shit didn't stink. Okay, he had hopefully a fight with Francis Ngannou. Tyson Fury was probably like, no, fuck you. I'm taking that fight, right? So they were in discussion. I don't know what happened to it. Maybe the Tyson Fury interruption. Tyson Fury claimed that Andy Ruiz asked for $20 million. Toss off, right? So then it was back to Deontay. So now Deontay now claiming that he's asking for the same amount of money. So that's 2 guys and 3 separate negotiations has all failed, and you haven't fought since September. Andy ducked the gypsy duck himself. Whaley bad setback. Don't ask Deontay what you offer. He ain't gonna ask that because see, this is what I've learned about interviewing people, and that's why I don't do a lot of interviews because see, you're not gonna tell me what the fuck I'm gonna ask you or what can I ask you. That means I just won't do an interview with you. I've talked to several people about doing interviews when I got them on the phone. And I've talked to these fighters, these trainers, and they tell me the same shit. Hey man, don't ask me about this, or hey, don't ask about that. Oh man, don't answer this question. Don't go into this conversation. And they say that, I'm like, well, okay, well, hey man, it is good talking to you. I'll get back with you because obviously you don't want me to ask you questions that every fucking body wants to know. I'm not wired that way. I'm not going to skip around questions and just to get this person on my show in order to, hey, let me get my views up, or you know what I mean? Fuck all that, because who cares about views if you don't have and supply the proper news? Bars. Seriously. Like, okay, this is like, people say, man, don't talk about that. And you're like, okay, well, that's dumb, because that's exactly what I was going to ask you. You know what I mean? Okay, still waiting on Usyk to get up. No, well, I mean, yeah, obviously he got up, and Dubois got down twice. So, you know, but that was a slick move. Wilder is a video game character who put all his points into the power stat. Yep. Usyk versus Fury, Wilder, AJ. To fight with want to win. I don't know. That's the fight that that Wilder is supposed to be going into training in the next couple weeks or few weeks. So we'll see how that goes. It does worry me, people, that it does worry me that it hasn't gone the way it's gone. It's not going as fast as it should go. Joshua had 2 fights already. He fought Franklin and he fought Hellenius. Wilder has fought nobody. He's had negotiations with a couple people, which fell through, obviously. So he's hadn't had a fight. So if he's going to wait for this fight for AJ, I think they should put all their energy into that. And I wonder myself, like, why is this shit so... Why is boxing not like other business mergers? See, all a fight is a business merger between networks, promoters, managers, and the fighters. Okay, why can't these guys set a date, New York, Cleveland, wherever the fuck they need to set it, come together with the terms, and everyone's there. They're underwriters, the people that write the contracts, the lawyers, and they're there at one time to do this fight and get this fight done. People don't do that. What they do is the fighters in the gym, the managers and the promoters are out sending shit to their people that work for them and getting them to do this work. And then they're sending it to the people that the other people are hired to do those things. And they're going back and forth. And then they're relaying messages to the people, the promoters and the managers. And the promoters and the managers are relaying messages to the fighter and the coaches. That's what happens. That's what happens. And it's like, well, damn, that's a lot of passing info and intel and relaying information to certain people. Amir, counterpunch to you. I am here. You know what I'm saying? So, I remember 78 said he cried when Wilder lost. Yeah, he probably did. I never seen people that invested in one fighter. But that just shows you, though, no disrespect to 78, but 78, along with every fucking body else, gets counterpunched as well. That's what happens when you become a fan of a fighter instead of a fan of boxing. Okay? Because, see, at that point, it's like, okay, what happens when Wilder retires? Are you going to talk about Wilder's fights? Are you going to talk about the same old regurgitated shit? You know what I mean? Well, you know, people will eventually get tired of that because people will want new news. That's why it's Counterpunch boxing news, because we're sending new news. Now, we talk about trending topics, you know, like the other shit that I said I wouldn't talk about. We talk about all this stuff, the new stuff, the up-and-coming fighters, the Jared Andersons, the Frank Sanchez's, those type of guys. They come up. They're coming up. You know, the Atoma Moses. Those guys are the upcoming guys. Okay, the Hergovics, the guys that we really don't talk about enough. That is a mandatory. That wants to fight. Okay, Wilder, the true hardest puncher on the planet, and Ngannou is just Wilder, but worse when it comes to boxing. Wow. Hope that's true. I mean, 10 million. Joshua fought Klitschko. Wilder refused to fight Klitschko for 3 years. No, that's now here's the thing. That's not true. That's not true at all. Where was that? Yeah. Marco Polo. That is not true. This is the story between Wilder, because I got to get out of here, because I got to run some errands. But let me break it down to you, okay? This is what happened with Wilder and Klitschko. Wilder and Klitschko had the same manager, which is Shelly Finkel. Shelly Finkel did not want Wilder in there. Shelly Finkel blocked that fight from happening. Wilder, supposedly, that I heard hearsay from Wilder's best or good friend, told me that Wilder wanted that fight all those years, but he did not get that fight. And my question was why? And the response was, I don't know, man. That's what the response was. Okay? That's what was told to me. Ain't shit I heard. No. That I was on the phone with one of his best friends. Wilder's best friend. Wilder was sitting there at the same time. He was sitting there in the room. And he was saying, man, I don't know. And Wilder wanted the Vladimir Klitschko fight. Shelly Finkel wouldn't give it to him. Wilder wanted the Charles Martin fight. Eddie Hearn bid him out to fight Joshua, and Joshua knocked him out in 2 rounds to take the IBF because they had more money. They had $8 million or $6 million. One of the two, $6 to $8 million to offer Charles Martin. And Deontay Wilder and Al Heyman and Shelly Finkel couldn't supply that to Charles Martin to fight Deontay Wilder for those guys to come together for a unification. That is the facts. That's what happened. Okay? So, no, Wilder wanted that. That's why I always told people think I hate on Wilder. I don't hate on Wilder. I just think Wilder had a shitty management team and they managed him shitty. He may disagree because he believed in them people. And those people are still with him. But that's the whole, what's the word? That's the, what's the word I'm looking for? That is the responsibility of being loyal. Okay? That's what you deal with when you're loyal. Or too loyal or over loyal. Because a lot of people, he stayed with Showtime. He could have took the DAZN deal. He didn't take the DAZN deal. Maybe, just maybe he got talked out of it, which I believe. But again, that goes back to his management. It goes back to his management. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Martin got $8 million for that farce Joshua fight. Yeah, he did. So he went there. So they outbid him. So that left Wilder with what? He couldn't fight Klitschko. That was for the vacant WBA. Who else had it? Joseph Parker. That fight didn't happen. Okay. Who else was it? Anthony Joshua. Charles Martin. So Charles Martin, Joseph Parker, and Vladimir Klitschko. He didn't fight any of those guys. All of those were fucking champs. You had that 9 reigning champ, which was the number 1 on the WBA, and then he had to fight Joshua for it. And I didn't think Joshua was going to beat Klitschko. But it wasn't the fact that Wilder didn't want to fight Klitschko. I'm sick of people saying, oh, Wilder ducked Klitschko. He didn't duck Klitschko because he didn't have the right type of management to give him the opportunity to fight Klitschko. Because the same management managed both fighters. And Shelly Finkel, as you guys know, called that man a baby champion. That motherfucker would have called me a baby champion. I would have slapped him. Probably not in front of everybody. But I would have got back. What the fuck wrong with you calling me a fucking baby? I ain't nobody's baby. I'm a king. I'm the Bronze Bomber Wilder from Alabama. Can Usyk outbox Wilder on your opinion? Yes, Usyk can outbox pretty much anybody. That's why I want to see him fight Tyson Fury to see if he can outbox him. But yes, he can outbox him. The question is, can Usyk outbox him faster than Wilder can catch him? That's the question with Wilder and Usyk. Usyk will spat bats. He will do that all day. Pot shot you, box you, force you. You know what I mean? He will put combinations together, counter you. That's what he does with the footwork and the arms and the feints. He does those type of things. He can do those type of things. He did it to Joshua. He did it to Dubois. He did it to Derek Chisora. He did it to Joe Joyce. He did it to Chaz Witherspoon. He did it to fucking Tony Bellew and he knocked him out. He did it to everybody he's been in the ring with. Period. He did it to the guy that knocked him down in the amateurs. Berterviev. He's did it to everyone. But the question is, can he do it for 12 rounds straight before Wilder catches him with a straight right? Because he's a southpaw. And Wilder is a right hand cannon. And he could take you out with one shot. Shit, if he can knock out Spilka, Fury, Ortiz twice, Helenius, Stavern, Brazil. Yes, he can do that to everybody that he punches. Yes. Remember Tyson Fury? And I look, I gotta go. I hate to go, but I gotta go because I got you guys on here and I'm on fire, but I gotta go. Anyway, I gotta tell you this before I go. Tyson Fury was telling Deontay Wilder, hey, Deontay, I want to feel that power. Remember the first fight? He was talking shit. I want to feel that power right here, Deontay. Show it to me. All I see is little skinny bones. Show me the power. Oh, you don't want to show me. Show me the power, Deontay. That's what I want to see. Fucking first fight. That's what he saw, didn't he? Ding, ding. 12th round. Pow! Yes. Yes, that's right. So the man, I don't care how skinny his legs is. That's not important. The important is things. Don't worry about his legs. You better worry about that fucking right hand. So that's the question between Usyk. To answer your question, Usyk or Wilder, who will win? Well, it's up to Usyk. Usyk, if he gets caught, you don't. Dude, it's like this. Let's put it this way. Wilder is dangerous to the point where if he doesn't knock out Usyk, Usyk beats him by outboxing him. Okay? But Wilder is dangerous than any other fighter because Wilder is in his mind, he's going to take you out. He's going to knock you out. He's not going to try to outbox you. He's not going to try to outthink you. He don't need to outthink you but a second for him to get that right hand off. And if he gets that right hand off, that is your ass or your head because he's going to take it off. Wilder smashes Usyk to pieces. He doesn't have to smash him to pieces. Understand, just not Wilder. Wilder's not a punisher. Wilder just doesn't beat you up. Wilder doesn't do those things. He just knocks you out. He catches you. He's the sharpshooter. He's that marksman. He's that guy, okay? He's that one-hitter quitter type of guy, okay? He's that dude. He ain't that guy that goes in there and beats you up and punt. No. He's not that kind of dude. That's a Joe Joyce. And Joe Joyce, he's that kind of guy. Wilder's the kind of guy, a little bit to the right. Okay, wind velocity. Okay, here we go. Bow! That's it. That's Wilder. That's Wilder all day. He ain't going to beat you up, punt. No, he's going to spare you. Look at Ortiz. Ortiz was beating up Wilder. And he thought it was cool. Hey, sí, se puede. No puede. Él no puede volver. And as soon as Wilder called, BAM! He got some. Hey, ¿qué es lo que pasa? ¿Dónde está la Habana? Guantánamo. ¿Dónde está? He's, you know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, you know what I mean? He doesn't know where you are, and that's what happens when you get caught like that. You find yourself in a strange place mentally, and you're fucking furious. Somebody knocks you out, you wake up like, dude, you come to, and the last thing you know is somebody doing this? Come on, bro. Wilder and AJ have real power, but they have to land. If not time, then it's boxing time. Wilder doesn't have that while AJ is developing that. AJ, I keep saying, let me get off here. I got to go. AJ is like this, and I would take you guys with me, but I can't because I'm on my other device, which is not mobile. But anyway, listen. Joshua needs to remember what he's already learned. He's trying to pour everything out that he's learned and fill it with somebody else's doctoring when he already knows how to fucking box. When did we get to a point in Anthony Joshua's career that this guy don't know how to box no more? I mean, it's just strange to me. You know what I mean? He's like he's trying to learn too many things, and to the point when he does, I know how to do this, I know how to do that, I know how to pull counter, I know how to pop block, I know the cross arm, I know the cross guard, I know the Philly shell, I know, like, look, just pick one and go with it. Because obviously he doesn't have the ability to use it all at one time. He's kind of like, oh shit, now what can I do? I could do this, that, and the other. Oh no, but I could do this, man. I could double jab and get myself in and work in. And no, I don't want to do that. I want to wait for him to do that. I could catch and counter and do, you know what I mean? It's almost like he has too much and he knows too much and he's crammed too much in that brain. And it's like, dude, use one thing. Use one thing and stick with it. If you get caught, you're going to sleep. AJ is still evolving. Well, damn. How long is he going to evolve? Michael Ritter, thanks for the thanks, Kurt. Information as always. Absolutely. I mean, that dude, he knows how to fight. Do you see this fucking dude do a pull counter on that tricky ass Pulev? I mean, that once beaten Pulev. The only person that beat Pulev is the guy that he beat and the guy that he went to war with, and that's Vladimir Klitschko. Okay, but he, Pulev had that spat, even though he was 39 years old. 39 years old. Okay, he was 39 years old, even though he had that. But Joshua, did the make. I'm like, okay, dude, you're learning these things. If you're learning these things, you've practiced these things, you've executed these things in the ring. So what more do you have to learn? And matter of fact, this is my problem. Joshua shouldn't have to change so much about himself because he got beat by one guy that is very fucking talented. I think that's the problem. I think that fight or those series of fights are fucking with him because he's still in the ring with that same opponent, Alexander Usyk. And Alexander Usyk is this type of guy with the type of experience that he has, okay? You're not going to beat him unless you stop him. The whole idea is you can't outbox a guy that's a masterful boxer. That's not the case. That's not the answer to the equation. The answer to the equation is to take the equation the fuck out. You got to knock him out. You can't beat him at his game. You got to crush the game, okay? Nate, I'm not playing this game with you. I have to take you out. That's what Wilder does. Wilder, I ain't got time to figure this shit out. Knock his ass out. Bars. Anyway, guys, I love you guys. I have to go. I really have to go. But listen, back to Andy Ruiz, recapping Deontay Wilder and Andy Ruiz. Look, they should come with what they were offered versus what they will settle for. If they don't do that, they're both full of shit. Thank you. God bless you. You all guys have been counterpunched. Peace.